Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a content creation system that makes it way easier than you think it should be to create content. So follow along, but first, why do you need it? If you're like me, you're a perfectionist, and when you sit down to create content, you're looking at the blinking cursor and you're like, what do I post? I've been there. And also trying to recreate the wheel every time. It's kind of like trying to drink out of a 22-pound mug. It's not the best experience when you could be doing it on easy mode, and it's kind of like sipping a deviled egg from a wine glass. It's amazing. So good. That was so dumb. Okay, but here's the exciting news, that when you master a system that creates content, then it makes things so much easier. You don't have to focus on it as much. You don't have to stress about it as much. You're just like, you have to do the work still. Nothing is ever evergreen. If that's what you're looking for, then go to Delulu land, because it doesn't exist. We're gonna be putting in the work, but intentional work, strategic work to make the rest of it easier. So let's dive in. All right, so first off, one of the reasons I've seen entrepreneurs specifically not creating content is because it's overwhelming. They're like, I've got to create content for Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and LinkedIn, and all of these have to be very different types of content, right? Yes and no. Every platform wants you to interact with it differently, but you don't have to recreate the wheel every time, right? You don't have to do this on hard mode. I tell entrepreneurs to start with YouTube 98% of the time. There's a small subset of people that I recommend other stuff to, but for you, more than likely, you should be starting with YouTube. There's a couple reasons for that. One, the content's evergreen. If you post on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn, where nobody's gonna see it. I'm not a fan of LinkedIn, so sue me. But YouTube is evergreen. You post videos, 5 years later, people are still watching it, or can be watching it if you do it right, and can still be pulling in money. When I do work for Russell, we have videos from 5-6 years ago still showing up in his like top 5 earners for the week that are bringing in money, right? So if you make good content that is relevant and searchable and evergreen, so you're not covering like pop culture, the news, that kind of stuff, that kind of stuff kind of dies because it's no longer relevant after a certain amount of time. But if you make the content evergreen like you would for business content, then it can last a long time, last beyond what TikTok would do or what Instagram would do, right? So that's reason number one. Reason number two is, instead of having to think, oh, I need to create 2 pieces of content a day for Instagram, or just 1 piece even, or 1 piece of content for TikTok every single day, and then use it on Facebook somehow, and I'm just gonna put the same video everywhere. It makes it so you only need 1 solid piece of content per week, right? Now, the next layer down is you repurpose that content. You get your YouTube video like this, right? And you put it into like a transcript service like rev.ai. I've also used Premiere Pro because it can create a transcript. CapCut can create a free transcript. You just grab that and then you can put it into ChatGPT and repurpose it from there. Take all of your words, say, hey, what are the 10 best quotes that I mentioned in this video? What's the top 3 pieces of advice that I said in this video? Pull those things out of your video, and then you have content for Instagram and for Facebook and for TikTok. And even if you're like, oh, I hate when people rip shorts from YouTube videos, it just looks so inauthentic, take the shorts that it pulls and just re-record those on your cell phone. You have the topics pulled out where AI was like, hey, this is a really good point you made here. This is a good thing you said right here. Just re-record that natively for the app. And then any of the text content that it pulls out when it says, hey, this was really inspirational. You're really awesome right here. Pull that out, make graphics out of it. The world is getting so advanced now with AI. Highly implore you to look into all of that. I'm in the process right now. I don't have it done. I'm in the process of building out an AI system that basically does all of this on autopilot, but I'm still working on that. I'll make a video as soon as that's up and running, trust me. But put it in ChatGPT, pull out the content, put it into Canva, make templates. You can reuse templates. I can't tell you how many creators, how many posts I've seen go viral on Instagram, 40, 50,000 likes, 80,000 likes, where it's like a carousel image and they use the same template just with different content, right? So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Follow what's already working. And then we have like layer 3 of that. Once you start posting, you will start to see what works. More people interact, your account will grow, that kind of stuff. Look at the trends. Whatever you see, like, hey, When I posted my first time, 3 people liked my piece of content. And then a week later, 13 people liked it. You're like starting to get more engagement. Start to measure what's working. You can do that in a multitude of different ways, whether you have your Instagram business profile set up, maybe you're using the new Edits app, which shows you analytics on the back end of that, or your Meta Business Suite is connected over to Instagram. You can log in and see analytics that way. Track your analytics, pick it one day every week. I do Mondays, track every post from the previous week and pull out any outliers. Say, okay, this was an outlier, this was an outlier. Reuse that content. Put it in AI or use your brain if you want to. If you want to compete with a computer, that's fine. Put it in there and say, hey, how could I say this in a different way? Or how could I say this with a little more controversy? How can I say this with a little more humor? Change it up, but have the same through line. Everybody's so worried about saying the same things over and over again. When I say, hey, what do you think of when you think of Disney World? It's the most magical place on earth. Why? Because all of their commercials say it's the most magical. They're repeating the same thing over and over again. Even my boss, Russell, he got really popular because you're only one funnel away. You're one funnel away. Remember, you're one funnel away. It was the same line over and over, but he got known for it. And that was like his brand, right? It's okay to repeat the same stuff. Pick, what do you want to be known for? Is it inspiration? Is it helping people learn how to garden? Is it helping people take care of their pets more? It's okay to repeat the same thing because by the time you're tired of saying it, 10% of your already existing audience has just started to hear about it. So just scream it from the mountaintops, right? Now, if you're getting into YouTube creation and you want to start figuring all that out, I've actually created a free guide. If you go to mattpete.com/titles, I've curated a list of working titles that work on YouTube from other creators like Alex Hormozi, Ali Abdaal, Gary Vaynerchuk. They have their outlier videos, their top performing videos. I've gone through and I've pulled their titles and I've broken them down into frameworks for titles. You take this PDF, feed it into ChatGPT, feed your transcript into ChatGPT and say, give me titles. It's so cool. You have to go check it out, mattpete.com/titles. Anyways, let's move on. So internally, you might be thinking, I don't have the time to do this consistently, right? Well, I saw a meme recently and it said, crackheads don't wake up in the morning and think, I don't have the money for crack today. No, they find out how to get the money and they go get it. Be like a crackhead, chase your dreams. Like, obviously please don't be a crackhead. I don't want you to do drugs. Crackheads are gonna get their drugs. They're gonna get their fix. They need it, right? So internally saying, I don't have enough time, there's always a trade-off. I used to say in my wedding video business that if I got on a sales call with somebody and they didn't book me, it wasn't because they didn't have enough money. It was because I did not adequately explain the value that I give them on their wedding day. I failed to let them know. It's never a money opposition. People will find out how to get money. If I have a $300,000 Lamborghini and I say, hey man, I'll give you this Lamborghini for 15 grand. You'd find out how to get 15 grand because you know that car is worth 300 grand, right? You just don't see the value in creating this content yet. It's there. Now, if you've made it this far, then you're more driven than like 65% of people. And I'm pulling that out thinking of like the YouTube analytics, roughly 65% of the people, if you've watched to this point, right? Now keep going because the very last thing I say in this video is the most important. You do not want to miss it, but don't skip ahead because then it won't make sense, right? So when it comes to creating this content, I don't want you to recreate the wheel every time. I don't want you guessing at the content you're going to create. I want you to go in and in the funnel world, sales funnel world with ClickFunnels and everything, we call it funnel hacking. It basically applies to everything. I still call it funnel hacking, even though it's on YouTube hacking. Go find outlier videos using tools like vidIQ or TubeBuddy or oneof10.com. Any of these places can help you find outlier videos. Watch the video, use AI to dissect the video, all these different ways you can see what's going on in the video and say, okay, how can I make this, but for my niche? So you're not copying their video. You're looking at the framework that they've laid out before you. You said, hey, they used a thumbnail that has a car right here with an arrow, with a negative call out with their face on the left-hand side, right? Take that and say, okay, say you're a gardener. Put a picture of a flower, have an arrow pointing to it, say the worst flower, and then your face off to the side. You're not copying them, you're modeling what works. So we're not recreating the wheel every time you create a new piece of content. Don't do that. That is like trying to make a wheel and you make a square first. Doesn't work. Then you're like, oh, that didn't work. Let me try it again. And you go and you try it again, you make a triangle. That's not gonna work. Oh, you try it again, you octagon. It's a little better, but not really. Why not go and look at somebody's content, go and look at somebody's wheel that already works and say, hey, that shape works for them. I'm going to use that over here in my industry. Just speeds up the entire process. Now, if you want, I can give like an in-depth look at what that looks like, a straight up course on that if you want. But now's not the time for that because I just want to get you guys started. The important thing is momentum over anything else. You need momentum. You need the speed. You need action in your business and in your life. Yeah, you don't need to get lost in the weeds right now. You just need to start doing. Now, the last thing people tell me is that they don't have the right tools or skills to make videos, to create videos. Now, I want to tell you, I was actually talking to a YouTuber, I believe it was yesterday, and we were talking about what this new phenomenon called is the anti-edit. At least that's what I've dubbed it. I'm sure other people have dubbed it that too. Basically, it is creating YouTube videos that don't have a lot of polish. They're not changing the shot every 3 seconds. It is creating good, vulnerable content that is easy to put together. You could record it on your cell phone and edit it in CapCut, which is a free app on your desktop or on your phone. I prefer desktop. I'm a millennial. I still use my desktop for everything, but it's totally free. You can get the pro version, in my opinion, totally worth it. But there's other apps you can edit as well. Across the whole board, you can't really go wrong. But the anti-edit is basically the premise of you don't have to do anything fancy. When I started doing stuff with Russell, we had a team editing his videos and they were amazing. I'm telling you, this team that edits his videos, they're next level, genuinely. And then I started editing some of his videos and no, they didn't look as good. I'm not a team of 8 people with crazy resources and animation guys on my team and everything. Literally just me editing videos. And so I was like, all right, well, we have to take a step back from this because I can't produce that level of content by myself. I use the analogy of baseball. Anybody out there who's played baseball or softball, if you're in the outfield and somebody hits a pop fly and it's like way in the air and you're looking for it, the first step you always take is backwards. You don't run to the ball. You take a step back, you analyze what the ball's doing, and then you move because it might be going further back and you need to start running backwards. That's hard to get started. I was like, we're gonna take a step back. Instead of doing all the crazy graphics and transitions and slides and B-roll, we're gonna just do mostly talking with a few slides in there. And it didn't affect our average view duration at all. Like, stayed pretty much the same. So the anti-edit really is a thing. So if you're thinking, I don't have the tools to do this, I don't have the skills, I don't know how to edit video. One, if you have extra money, it's worth it. Hire some editors. I use VidChops. If you want to ask me for my affiliate link, I'll see if I can get one and put it in the description below. If not, just go to vidchops.com, sign up for them. I think it's like $497 a month currently. 4 videos a month is what you get. They'll edit some shorts out of that too, but it takes it off your plate. The mental bandwidth. All you have to worry about is recording the content, which I do it on my computer and then just automatically upload it there and I'm done, right? If you have the money, invest in that. Outsource, please. Don't try to learn how to do everything. This is a who, not how kind of situation. If you don't have the money, like most people in America, which is totally fine, then download CapCut, record a video like this, go through and cut out the bad parts, which if you want to cut out filler words and long pauses, CapCut, Descript, those kind of apps will do that for you. You just say, hey, remove filler words. It'll go through and remove all the filler words. You don't have to go through and cut it. You can say, hey, if there's a pause longer than, a second, cut it out. All done for you. And then you just go through, watch the video. If you say something you don't like, if you mess up like I did earlier in this video and I told my editor to stop, I just went down a rabbit hole, editor on that, chop that up, like cut out what I don't need. Oh, hold on, I forgot to put the piece at the beginning. All right, I'm gonna try this one again. So you can go through and just cut out what doesn't work, what you said, what you messed up on, that kind of stuff. Like it's literally like 3 buttons and then you go to the top right and you click export it to your computer, you upload it, give it a thumbnail, which again, you go down the rabbit hole pretty deep. But again, the key is momentum. You need to get started. I've seen crazy YouTube videos where people are just being authentic. They're not producing content. There's one guy, can't remember his name. He rides in his car going to the gym. He works out at the gym, has some B-roll shots of him at the gym, like just working out. And then he rides home. And his video is fairly long, I believe. It's like 30 minutes, hundreds of thousands of views. Crazy views. Because he's good on screen. He's good at talking and he's authentic. He's not coming on here with like a sales voice or anything like that, right? People want the authenticity. I saw another guy creates legal videos. He didn't have thumbnails. His thumbnails was like, YouTube says, hey, let me pick a frame from your video, which any YouTuber will be like, don't do that. He literally does that. Tens of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views. It's insane. Don't know why, don't know how. His stuff just pops off. You can go down the rabbit hole, but Really, the key is just getting started. For all you know, you might be one of those people that's afraid to be on camera, but the key is you're just not being vulnerable enough. Just turn the camera on, press record, pick a topic, and just start talking. And if you really want to take it to the next level and you're like, I don't want to just plan something out, this is a trick I learned from a YouTuber buddy of mine. I use ChatGPT on my phone with the voice thing, and I'll let it interview me. So literally, here, I'll show you. Hey chat, I want to record a video for YouTube talking about sales funnels. I want to talk about my very first ever sales funnel that turned my business around. Can you interview me?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Let's dive into it. So to kick things off, what inspired you to create your first sales funnel?
And then you just answer the questions talking to the camera, and you cut out all the ChatGPT asking the questions. And then you can even tell it, say, hey, I'm going to answer your questions. Don't ask a follow-up question until I say, okay, next question. And that way it doesn't interrupt you when you stop to think or anything like that. But then you can create your videos that way because it creates that authenticity of just having a conversation instead of having to plan something out. If you made it this far in the video, then clearly you're interested in being able to create content that performs well. So if you comment, give me the title list down in the comments, I'm going to drop you a link that is the titles. You can also get it in the description, but it's a free PDF just of titles. It's not pretty. It's not designed for a reason. I made it to be able to just throw it into ChatGPT and say, hey, give me some titles for my next YouTube video. And you can upload your transcript of your video so we can see what your video is about. You can pull out all the unique points and plug it into the title outliers list. It's really cool. Just comment, give me the title list down below. I will drop the link in there. I said earlier in the video that the last thing I was gonna say is gonna be the most important. So here's the most important thing before really you've done all of this. You wanna make sure that you have a strategy in place. Why are you creating the content? Now, if you wanna create content just because you wanna be internet famous and maybe make some YouTube money or TikTok money or whatever, that's fine. You can obviously do that. In my opinion, that's not the smartest way to grow a business. You need an email list, you need upsells, you need different offers, that kind of stuff. I would make sure that you have a strategy in place, have a reason for the content that you're posting. And with that comes sales funnels. You need a sales funnel in place. Why do you need a sales funnel in place? Because YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all of this is the marketing. It's creating noise, it's creating traffic, right? If you don't have anywhere to send them, then you're relying on those platforms to pay you. Those platforms are only gonna pay you a lot if you consistently get a ton of views. That's a lot of stress. If you have a sales funnel, you don't need millions of followers. You don't even need thousands of followers. I've heard of people with 600 followers having a six-figure business before because they're strategic with the content they post and the audience they attract. So if you want to know more about sales funnels, what that is and why they're so important, then watch this video right here and I'll see you over there.